Now looking back, now that you could look back, you have this clarity because you know where you're at now. What was the missing piece? I mean, this is a guy that manifested $1 million at 19, loses it all. No big deal. I'll manifest it again. So you got the manifestation thing right. So what was the missing piece for you, anyways, that unlocked you? I can't hold on to this money. What was that?
And you actually kind of touched on it there. I can't hold on to this money. You know, when we look at our reality and how it's laid out, we sometimes think that it's just frequency. Oh, it's just hard work. Oh, it's just mindset. It's not. These things work together. And the bottom line is that I dedicate myself to a very powerful, very focused, strong mindset. But guess what? I didn't have any physical experience. So I didn't have a container to hold it in. I didn't know how to deal with people. I didn't know how to deal with having money. I didn't have any of those experiences. I was young, right? And then in terms of the frequency, my frequency hadn't been acclimatized to holding those things. And so it was go. You know, I think it's 90% of lottery winners and windfall winners go back to exactly where they were within 5 years. Reason being is they can manifest this big thing, but they don't have the frequency and the experience to hold it, right? And so for me, it's this alignment of the frequency, the emotion, the energy, but also the mindset and also the actions, habits, and behaviors. And that takes experience and it takes acclimatization. And over time, those missing pieces I've been able to weave into what I do now, into how I live my life and how I go on to create things going forward.
So good. It reminds me too of like, you know, it's like that quote, you know, the skills that got you here are not the same skills that are going to keep you here or propel you to the next level. You actually got to get new skills. And the way you're kind of talking about that frequency, it's like, yeah, that frequency got you there, but now the frequency to actually maintain that or even go to the next level, you weren't creating that. So that's really
funny story. It's an analogy, like a quick analogy on that. It's like, there's a difference between walking down the road and seeing a beautiful human that you find attractive and that beautiful human who you find attractive being who you come home to every day. Like the frequency of being able to witness something that walks by is not the same as being able to witness something as being normalized. So I can be worthy of seeing something, but it doesn't mean I'm worthy of holding something. And the difference between the two is very, very key, I think, to what you just touched on there.
That is such a great example of that just little nuance, you know. Yeah, you might be in the frequency to walk around the neighborhood where that girl lives, that dream girl lives, but do you have the frequency to command the power to actually like bring that into your life? That's a big that's a big jump actually. It's very subtle, but that's a big jump.
It's a very, very big jump. The smallest hinges move the biggest doors. And when we start to see the difference between those jumps, then we can actually start to do the work that's going to effectively step us into that new frequency, into that new mindset, into that new way of showing up every day in order to be able to hold it. But so often we just focus on the getting. We don't focus any attention, time, and dedication to being the person who's going to be able to maintain and hold it over time.